What's going on YouTube? Today we are back with another video. We have an age-old debate. What is better, cannabis concentrates or actual flower? We have our head guest here, our head judge. She's going to be the determining factor here, Nala. But in all seriousness, I am a lover of flower and rosin. I think there's pros and cons to both. With that being said, I will save my pick for the end of this video. I know what her pick is going to be, but I just want to have like a good debate, kind of talk about the pros and cons of both sides and show people like, you know, it may be better for some people, it may be worse for some people for certain reasons. But that being said, let's start off with flower. So obvious pros to flower. It's a classic way to get high. There's not really anything that matches that type of high. It is a unique type of high. It's very nostalgic for a lot of people. It's a quick way to like unwind, whether like it be a part of the rolling process, breaking down the flower. All of that is a process that also plays into like the getting high. I think people like the oral fixation of smoking a joint. I think people like ripping the bong, like taking really fat bong rips. So smoking itself is fun. I personally love flower. I think it's a little bit more versatile than concentrates like rosin, because obviously if you want rosin, the only way you can consume it is to dab. Otherwise you have to have flower paired with it. So if I were to pick, I personally would go with flower because of the simple fact you can have multiple experiences with flower. I can smoke a joint and get that nice like kind of extended high. It'll hit you a little bit later, but it might last a little bit longer. And if I want that kind of head rush, I can take a bong rip. Whereas like rosin, you kind of just have to take a dab. That's kind of your only experience. So as someone who definitely prefers dabs, why do you definitely prefer dabs?
I would have to say because it's quick and fast.
Yeah, as someone who like, I dab way more than I smoke flower, funny enough, as someone who just picked flower. And that's the main reason, is the convenience and the quickness. Like,
yeah, it's really convenient. It's quick. It doesn't smell. I have a big thing with like my hands smelling for a while. It's hard to even wash it off.
Yeah, it is.
It's really effective, and I'm all about the effects.
Yes. So that's why that is the one thing about flower that I like a little bit more, is I feel like it's a more encompassing high. So like that's why I do like having both of them. I feel like dabs, you get that like punch. It is super effective. It's super quick. It's right to the point. Whereas flower, you know, sometimes you gotta let it settle in. But I do think if I smoke good flower, it gets me higher. What do you think about that?
I don't know if higher is the right way to say it. I would think long term, like the high lasts longer for me with a flower.
Maybe
like weed or dabs are like really short lived.
Yeah, maybe stronger is not right, but I would say like wider.
Yes. Which whatever the fuck that means.
I'm glad you understood though.
Yeah.
So like if I'm taking dabs all the time, people will always be like, oh, it's gonna ruin your tolerance for flower, blah blah. That's not really true. If I smoke some really good flower, it's gonna get me fried.
I feel like a lot more flower can be medicinal where rosin isn't. It's hard to find medicinal rosin.
I would agree with that 100%. I feel like rosin is more of like, let me get a head change, whereas flower is like, I've got aches and pains and something, like let me like really use this to relax and kind of disconnect. I think
and like I feel like when you're paying more for flower, you can count on it being medicinal, where it's like if you're paying more for rosin, I don't know if you can always count on it feeling medicinal.
It's funny that you say that. I would agree with that to an like depending on the brand.
Yeah.
Because like Doja Pack, Lost Leaf, like those are brands they charge a little bit more, but you get flower it feels really medicinal.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny because I was just having a conversation on Twitter the other day with people about if like you pay more for rosin, you usually have like, I've never bought a really expensive jar of rosin that was bad. but I bought some like really expensive flour that was not good.
Yeah.
So flour gets a little bit like more hyped up, but I think that's just from the internet and stuff because that wasn't like local stuff or like even metric stuff. Like, so I think if you're looking at it on a more like generalized scale, it's probably, yeah, like you said, easier to find more medicinal flour. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
you still have to be willing to pay, but like,
Yes, but you always have to be willing to pay if you want medicinal flour, though.
yes.
I mean, same with rosin, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. That's why, like, some of the 710, like the Percy, the fresh press, like, it feels medicinal. Like, I hit it and I'm like, oh, this feels great. Like Dark Rainbows from Wojo. Like, there's a few that do it, but like you said, I've had more flour. Like, pretty much any of the strains I buy from Doja have that feeling.
Where it's not like that with rosin.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you get that like real like blanket feeling, which is one of the things I love about getting high. Like it's one of my favorite feelings, and that's why I love flour so much. And as someone who rarely posts rosin on this channel, I wanted to talk about this because I do dab more than I smoke flour, 100%. There will be days where I don't smoke flour. There's not really ever a day where I don't take a dab. That would be kind of weird, or I must be sick or something.
Yeah, you'd be sick.
So I don't know. I am an avid flower lover, and I think there will always be a place for it. But I think people in like 20 years will mainly be smoking hash or smoking some sort of rosin. I think it'll be kind of weird to see that. Obviously, the pins are taking over the market like vapes. Hopefully, people will get off the distillate. Hopefully, that'll kind of change over time. I don't know. Live resin is also kind of scary with all the CRC and stuff. So we'll see how the market goes. If you are buying concentrates, definitely buy something that is of better quality. I've heard kind of horror stories about people buying live resin that still has like remnants of BHO or CO2, whatever they're using as a solvent in the process, still left in it. Heard of people getting like really sick, especially if you're buying stuff that's not getting tested, which like I don't even know if I trust the testing that much a lot of the times. Really depends on the brand or the lab, but I don't know. Just be careful, be cautious of what you're putting into your body, regardless of if you're buying flour or concentrates. It's better to spend money, put a little bit less in there. It's probably going to be a better product. It's probably going to get you where you want to be quicker. I always tell people like quantity over quality, or I said that backwards. Quality over quantity always when it comes to stuff that you are inhaling and putting into your body. So, do you have any other comments that you think are?
Not that I can think of like right offhand. If I come up with something, I'll say something.
Okay, well, I think that's pretty much going to do it for me. Definitely pros and cons. Smell, convenience. There's a lot of reasons why I think concentrates are going to take over as being the most popular way to consume cannabis. But I think, I don't know. Maybe it's just the old head in me. Maybe people really will let like flour kind of go by the wayside. But I think there'll be people who always appreciate flour. I don't think that's something that'll ever completely die. So
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think it'll ever.
I'm trying to think of like something to compare it to, but there's nothing to compare it to.
You know, I just think as people get older too, like I can see myself stopping taking dabs at some point because it might be like too intense when I get old.
Yeah, it's just like a big hit on the lungs.
Yeah.
It's almost like
My mom is almost 60 and she's doing them, so I don't fucking know.
Shut up. It's a weird like, I don't know, this is not a good or great comparison, but like I feel like a lot of people, you know, will take shots until a certain point in their life and then they'll start like drinking beer or wine.
Yes.
And it's like, all right.
I did hard liquor.
Yeah. Kind of similar. Not really at all, but close enough. That's the closest thing we got. Closest thing my high ass can think of. All right. We will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.
Peace.